Welcome to Willow Tree Studios Movement Break. I'm Yvonne. Happy New Year! January is full of exercise resolutions, and sometimes in those resolutions we get a bit enthusiastic and tend to overdo. So for today's movement break, I have a soothing stretching routine. The tools you'll need are a chair, a folded up yoga mat or a towel, rolled up towel. I have a half round. And then also a yoga strap, or again, you could use a towel. Standing with our feet side by side, our bodies in our nice tall posture. Inhale up, reaching up through our fingertips, and exhale down, reaching down to the floor through our fingertips. One more. Now we're going to keep that same arm movement just about. We're just going to bring it to right here like we're making a snow angel. And then adding in a little side leg lift, one side and the other. Nice and smooth, toes staying straight ahead. One more on each side. And then moving into a nice low march, crossing our hands, one on top of the other, moving up, moving down. And one last. Holding our feet steady. Reach down, knees, shoulders, reach to the ceiling and maybe way back. Knees, shoulders, reach. Knees, shoulders, reach. One last. And all the way back to tall. Let's start out a little bit of stretch for our hamstrings. So I'm going to use a chair. You can use a low bench. You can also just use your heel on the ground. This intensifies the stretch a little bit if you have your leg elevated. So standing nice and tall, our toes straight ahead, holding onto your chair. We're going to hinge forward at the hip, and you will definitely feel this in the back of your body. And nice and tall. You can add a reach, and you want to reach straight ahead and back to tall. And you can use both arms in reach. All of these are options. If you've never really stretched with your leg elevated before, even just a small hinge forward is going to be a good stretch. Also, it's nice to take a few breaths and see if you can deepen your stretch. We don't want to force it. We want to relax into our stretches. And then back to tall. And then we'll move to the other leg, bringing that leg up, heel down, toes flexed towards your shin, body tall. On our left leg here, our toes are pointed straight ahead. And just start with a hinge at the hip. Taking some nice full breaths and bringing ourselves back to tall. And again, maybe reaching with one arm. And back to tall. And maybe reaching with both arms. You have to see what feels good to your body, what feels comfortable. And then one more time, hinging forward at the hip. Nice full breaths. And then all the way back to tall. A little walk out. We're going to do another stretch for the back of our body. So this is using, in my case, a half round, but you could also use that rolled up blanket or towel. We're going to bring the ball of our foot onto what you're using. You could use a weight, works good for this too. Bringing our feet side by side. So we want to keep our good posture here. We want to keep our heel into the ground. And you can also take a little step forward, but the same thing is you want to be able to keep your good posture. And take a nice full breath. And then stepping off and moving to the other side, same thing. Starting with your feet side by side. So if this is a stretch that's new to you, you want to start here and probably stay here. If you're a little bit more flexible or you've been doing this, you can take a smaller step forward or a larger step forward, keeping that back heel on the ground, keeping your good posture. And then release. Moving right into our stretch for our quadriceps. You can again use a towel, a yoga strap, holding to our chair. You can grab the cuff of your pants. If you have the flexibility, you can just grab your ankle. So I'm going to use the strap. And we're just drawing that strap up towards our, drawing our heel up towards our rear. We should feel that in the front of our leg. We want to keep our posture nice and tall, our legs side by side. And then release that stretch down. And then again, drawing our heel up towards our rear. And relaxing down. We'll move over to the other side of our chair. Our strap around our ankle, holding on to assist our balance, and then drawing our heel up towards our rear, trying to keep our bodies nice and tall. And release. And one last. And release. We'll set this aside for a minute. Standing tall, our feet about hip width apart, bringing our fingertips right to our ears. We're going to tip over to the side and then reach long and back to tall. Tip to the side, reach long. One more on each side, tip and reach, tip and reach. We're going to add a twist and a reach across, a twist and a reach across. One more on each side, reaching long and center and reaching long and center. Bringing our hands to our hips. We're going to do our super hula hoops. So our move to the sides of our feet, up to our tiptoes, sides of our feet, back to our heels. And reverse direction. And last but not least, moving back to our yoga strap. We're gonna, on both sides, do the same thing. Just lay that strap over. And then holding on with one hand, this is another stretch for the back of our body. We're just gonna set our feet about shoulder width apart, and then just let our hips go back. So we get a nice stretch for our body, a nice stretch for our shoulder. And we just want to hold nice full breath. And then switching sides, holding on into our tabletop, our hips go back. And then release. Moving our feet to widen to the side, toes straight ahead or just a little bit out. We're going to shift over to the right, the inside of our leg reaching towards the floor. Our knees stay stacked over our ankles, our hips back, getting a nice stretch for the inside of our leg. And one more on each side. And back to tall. Walking our feet underneath of us, heels to the front, long arm swing, toes to the front, pointy toes. One big breath again, inhale up, exhale down. Happy New Year, my friends. Thanks for joining me for today's movement break. Have a happy New Year.